But let's talk about Brick Baby, and in particular, the financial side of my relationship with the brick, not the trick. When Brick Baby came on the platform 2 years ago, pretty quickly the feds ran up in his crib and raided him. He needed money to get out. Now, it's been discussed at length that I fronted him an amount of money, $5,000, so that he could get out the same day that he was picked up. I know Whack 100 and a few other people have been spreading information saying that this was cap. I don't know. Honestly, the other day in the Reddit, somebody posted information saying that he really did have a bail and that was where the $5,000 went. I never really heard about it. I heard rumors in the streets that maybe this money was not required for him to be bailed out, that he didn't have a bail. But I did see these screenshots in the Reddit that make it seem as if he did have a bail. I didn't make a big deal out of it. I gave him the money, had to get him back out on the streets. I knew that he had potential. I knew that I could take him from being a marginal figure in the LA podcasting space to being one of, if not the most talked about person in the podcasting space, which is exactly what has happened.
Now, what is the responsibility of a person, an employer, or even a friend or something to somebody? My thing is, if you go to jail for a crime and I wasn't part of it, like you were doing stuff and not giving me any of the money, why am I supposed to put up a bunch of money to bail you out or to give you large chunks of money while you're locked up? Apparently, according to Adam 22, Brick Baby wants to be continued to pay his weekly salary. And all along, once the pandemic ended and the massive uptick in minutes watched was going down, I thought, because again, I did a similar thing. I had a building, I had some different people. Obviously, I didn't get anywhere like No Jumper. But I realized it's very easy to spend money and it's cool and you got a building and stuff's going on, but like how much money is really being generated? And all those people he has now working, you see they're falling off one by one, and him saying that No Jumper's going to go bankrupt or is bankrupt. He played a game of having all that edgy stuff going on up there. He's certainly at risk for some lawsuits at the least, and I'm sure he probably wants to get rid of employees. And in a business where, like, let's say you're making, I don't know, $100,000 a month or $300,000 a month for No Jumper. Well, if you have $310,000 a month in expenses, you just lost money, right? If you have $260,000, well, you made $50,000. A 20% change in your expenses changes you from making a lot of money to wasting all that time and being in debt. So he's going to be only letting people come on there that probably basically their payment is you get exposure. If Brick Baby was getting paid all these years, he did good. He was making money. It was kind of funny, Adam complaining about $2,000 or something. Even if I didn't feel like I owed it to somebody, someone I knew and was working with and was even half, I mean, they're around each other quite a bit, so they must be somewhat friendly. I would feel bad about mentioning that when a guy's facing all that prison time. But this is why mixing people that's living two different kind of ways, legal and street, people like to jump over both sides of the fence. And that goes vice versa for the street people that want to dabble with legal people. If one person's legal and one person's living a different way, they're not going to deal with situations in the same manner. Why would they? They have different value system, different lifestyles. I'm curious and interested to see what the hell a lot of these podcasts, but No Jumper specifically, will do now that there's definitely going to be. There's already been a lot of people who have gone to jail and they've used things they said on social media against them. But this case with the whole, all the stuff around Brick Baby, Loose Cannon, Big U, really anyone with some sense is going to say, boy, I better watch what I say, especially when you realize you could be talking about crimes whose statute of limitations is long past, but they could be used as predicate acts to say, oh, well, yeah, like the RICO thing is spooky because they can take old events and connect them to more recent and current events and say, oh, this is an ongoing criminal thing. So there'll be a real pall, or there'll be less people willing to talk. But, you know, you can't blame, for the most part, the podcasters, the people with the platforms, because people go on there, you know, hoping it's their chance to make some money, to hit it big. In the case of Brick Baby, as far as what we see in the paperwork from Big U and his indictments, Brick Baby was hitting licks on people. If you were willing to do that, why wouldn't you go on the internet and talk, right? I mean, to make money. So, and then Adam has some very strong words for Sharp.
Keep in mind, Brick and Sharp have had a weird relationship over the years, because when we fell out with Sharp, Brick talked hella shit about him on the platform and then basically continued to be friends with him to some extent, which I always thought was a little strange. But either way, I mean, to me, this is just a completely invented Sharp narrative as far as I know. It's kind of odd that he would know about this and I wouldn't know about this. But let's keep going.
You know, to a lot of you dummies, because it went to prove, because everybody was screaming, oh, they're going to be out on Wednesday. No, they're not. I knew it when it came to the bail hearing and how things play. Like, they're just giving them that. Now